I'll change my background.
Okay, we're live na.
Okay, am I pinned na ba? Okay. Good morning, everyone, to our delegates, our guests, and everyone watching this conference. Once again, I am Julian Camalinda, the Secretary General of the HEDCen Model United Nations. If the delegates have any questions, they can approach me or any of the committee heads, Mayun Bersena, Brianna Rodriguez, or Joshua Villalobos. The day one of HEDMON 2021 was a great success. I would like to thank everyone, especially our committee rapporteurs and technical team, Joshua Villalobos, Caleb Castro, and Zek Casildo. I would also like to thank our secretaries, Yuan Adeva and Hiro Kim. Thanks to them, our YouTube stream was smooth and there was not so much technical difficulties. I would also like to thank our committee chairs, Kirsten Abella and Sarika Witich. Because of them, the committee was very organized. I would also like to thank all of the delegates who participated and did their best to get their resolutions approved. I would also like to extend my greetings to our wonderful and lovely guest speakers, Dr. Erlinda Pefianco and Ms. Pam Del Valle, for giving the delegates an opportunity to be blessed with the presence of people specializing in the fields of health and education. I hope that for the future Headman conferences, we will be able to have the opportunity to have guests like them. On behalf of the HEDCen community, thank you. It was really an honor to be the Secretary General for this year's HEDCen's Model United Nations. I got to experience being stressed with the delegates, having to experience suddenly becoming a chair due to technical difficulties, also having a surprise dance during the stream. But most importantly, I got to experience leading and overlooking a conference consisting of wonderful people and faculty members, which made the stress worthwhile. I was heartened to see the enthusiasm from new groups of young adults to engage in these global issues. Together, you not only represent the school, but the United Nations, coming together to solve problems by exchanging your ideas and points of views. Regardless of this being a Model UN conference exclusively between heads and students, the spirit of an actual World Model United Nations conference was there. This gave the chance to the youth of HEDSEN, to the youth of the future, to actually get a grasp of how people solve international and global problems and make resolutions to these problems by themselves, regardless of blocks or their individuality. This shows how a HEDSEN student is capable of leading the future and showcasing the school's motto, Better People for a Better Earth. I would like to commend the HEDSEN students. You attended this conference as delegates, but always remember that you will leave today as global ambassadors for the future of the world. You are a step closer to achieving a more secure, healthy, and prosperous world. Young leaders, I would like to thank you for your commitment to this year's Headman. I wish you all a successful and fruitful conference today. Thank you. Now let us move on to Sir Mar for the morning pre-conference tasks.
Good morning, everyone. So, based on our schedule, this was supposed to be the time that we are still going to have another committee session. Okay, but thankfully we were able to complete the agenda for the Model UN's committee sessions last Wednesday. So today, for this morning, for the first committee session, we will have instead a special treat for the faculty and also for the Teachers' Day, a special model HEDCen faculty meeting. So the delegates who represented countries during Wednesday will now be representing teachers and staff of HEDCen instead in order to address a crisis. So the crisis brief would be the HEDCen senior high school students have mysteriously forgotten all the knowledge and skills that they've learned from the school. And as a body, as a member of the HEDCen faculty, we would like to enjoin everyone in order to find a possible solution to address this situation. So at this point, we will proceed with the roll call. So I would like to request for the secretary to put up our list of delegates. As we call your name, please state whether you are present or present and voting. Angie,
Present.
Ann, Bian, Belen,
Present.
Bernard, Betsy and Lloyd,
Present.
Carmi, Ruby, and Karen,
Present and voting cube.
and Maylene and Myra,
Present and voting.
Ella and Ross,
Present.
Emma,
Present.
Gab, Glenn, Harriet, Henry,
Present.
Jeffrey, Lillian, Liz and Sarsha,
Present and voting.
Marielle, Marvin,
Present.
May,
Present.
Rolly G, Rolly R,
Present.
Romar,
Present.
Rudolph,
Present.
Rafi,
Present.
Sarah, Tess,
Present and voting. Sorry, what?
Virgo. Okay. Did we miss on any delegations that were present? If so, if they do come in later, please inform the secretary of your presence so that you may be added into the roll call. Thank you. At this moment, are there any motions or points that would like to be made by any of the members of this faculty? Are there any motions to set the agenda? Carmi, Karen, Ruby, you are recognized.
The Department of Math would like to motion to set the agenda to mysterious event happened to senior high school students.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, the agenda has been set to discuss the mysterious circumstances that we are facing right now. Are there any other motions or points that would like to be put in place at this moment? As such, we will proceed with the general speakers list. So we will begin as according to the list from the secretary. As the secretary calls your name, please deliver your opening speech.
Angie, you're recognized. Yeah, 1 minute and 30 seconds to speak. Timer will start once you start talking.
Good day. I am Teacher Angie from the Filipino and Admin Finance Department, and I am here speaking for my opinion on the possible solutions in order to retrieve our senior high students' knowledge and skills that we taught them here in HEDCen. As this is a sudden event, I have come up with some solutions that I am sharing with the whole faculty. This can and might be hard for us, but I am sure that we are always ready to lend our minds, hands, and our precious time to our students. After all, it is our duty to teach them. I yield my time to the chair.
Belen, you're recognized.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Belen from EET Head, and reading one and yeah, reading one. Uh, I truly believe that I give my time to the chair.
Betsy, Lloyd, you're recognized.
Good day to all. This crisis most definitely gave us the greatest shock of our entire life in HEDCen. I believe this to be a memory loss that might be caused by several reasons, such as stress, mental health, brain tumors, and such. Let us not hope this is an effect of drugs or alcohol misuse. We must open our mind to different possible reasons that may have caused this. Let's practice critical thinking, which we teach to our students, especially in science. Since we are no strangers to new viruses or sickness, this might also be a caused by a certain virus. We must extend our patience and understanding to our students. I hope we find a certain resolutions that would help, such as showing documentation of their heads in life, therapies, and many more. This is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Carmi, Ruby, and Karen, you're recognized.
As a representative of the HEDCen Math Department, I'm deeply concerned about the mysterious event which occurred recently. Every experiences and knowledge obtained by students are priceless. The Math Department will support HEDCen faculty to construct practical plans to recover that of senior high school students. Critical thinking and problem-solving skills are salient and developed among mathematicians, and it would be a great help to devise plans. The math department would like to reiterate the significance of knowledge and skills of students, which must be recovered immediately. I yield my time to the chair.
Edlin, Mylene, and Myra, you're recognized.
Um, Good morning to the heads and faculty. On behalf of Miss Edlin, Maylene, and Myra, Hedson believes that every child is unique, every child has a gift, and Hedson believes that every child can surpass any challenge, no matter how difficult it is, for as long as the child is willing to. So for me, the solutions that I have came up starts from oneself. We must build the mental health of the students and push them to remember or regain the memories that they have lost from what they have learned from Hedson. And I think that the students must break free from preconception because Hedson also believes that learning does not only take place in the classroom but also outside of it. So why not start there? Why not teach the students what they can do at home to at least help them regain their knowledge? Thank you, and I yield my time to the chair.
Ella and Ross, you're recognized.
Good day, faculty. As we all know, the shock that we are experiencing because of this catastrophe. We must not look back, but instead look forward and act fast and do something in order to bring back the lost skills, knowledge, and values of the students. We must take each decision carefully and create a vast curriculum that can bring back all the lost knowledge of the students in a small time frame. Time and quality of curriculum are the priorities moving forward. Thank you very much, and I yield my time to the chair.
Emma, you're recognized.
Good morning, delegates. My name is Teacher Emma Gutierrez, and I am the director and the founder of the school, HEDCen. So, the problem we are facing right now is definitely a pandemic. However, and and we were able to attend online classes since we were able to prepare all these technology for the students. However, the problems for all students is that they are they are facing stress and depression and anxiety, which was caused by both online classes and the pandemic, because for financial and the learning difficulties. So, in order to solve this problem, I suggest that we must put up a therapy that can be open for all students. And speaking of therapy, all students can rant out their problems as much as they could, and also they could also talk about their familial issues, since they do not since possibly some of them do not like staying
Point
indoors.
of order, Emma.
So,
Time is up.
ah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Henry, you are recognized.
Our brains are wired to forget, but there are research backed strategies you can use to make your teaching stick, said by neuroscientist Yuki Tarada. Ladies and gentlemen of the faculty, we have here an issue that leads to a question how. There are so many reasons that we can think of, but this mysterious issue deserves an explanation. It deserves an acceptable reason as to why HEDCen senior high school students lost all their knowledge and skills. There should not be any concern at forgotten skills and knowledge, since our minds work like that. But we should be alarmed as to why this occurred to all senior high school students and why just senior high school students. A heavy load of scientific investigation could be done to such tragedy. But from what we have witnessed, faculty members, this could be answered with supernatural hypothesis. As a school head, I believe in treating this issue in those two possible sides with the help of science and supernatural hypothesis. We, the heads and faculty, must act up to this issue, solve the root cause of it all. From theories to hypotheses, we must use our own knowledge and act upon this issue. It is our responsibility to help our students and make them better people for a better earth. Yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Liz, Sarsha, you're recognized.
Good day, everyone. My name is Teacher Liz, and we are here today for a meeting because of mysterious circumstances. There have been many reports that the senior high school students have somehow forgotten all the things that they have learned in HEDCen. At first, of course, I didn't believe it. However, when I began to talk to the students later on, I couldn't believe that they've actually forgotten everything. It's not clear why this has happened, but I hope it is not something that they did on purpose or was caused by anything harmful. I propose that we figure out the cause and then try to help them regain their knowledge back so that these ladies and gentlemen get to resume their daily lives and we don't have to repeat all their lessons. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Marvin, you're recognized.
Good morning, delegates. I am the delegate for Sir Marvin, and first of all, this unprecedented situation has caused us all to look back on what we have to do and ascertain what we have to do in the future. And so, before implementing any resolutions for this, I propose that we must first conduct two steps before doing anything else. First of all, we must ascertain whether or not this um, phenomenon is contagious or would spread to other grade levels or even to other schools. As heads and teachers, although we have rules in HEDCen, we mustn't forget our roles as teachers and make sure that every single student has its own safety and their basic right to not get infected by this. So second of all, we must work in close concert with the government in order to ensure that whatever is behind the cause of this phenomenon will be solved quickly and as efficiently as possible. So with that out of the way, I propose we must first have a solution which something that HEDCen must do, although other schools may not really have the solution in their plans and measures. And I propose that once we have the students under control, we would expose them to the environment, um, in the sense that the pandemic is over, as this would stimulate their curiosity. At the same time, it would show them that the unique nature of HEDCen while still sticking true to our principles as teachers. And for now, I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. May, you're recognized.
Good day, fellow teachers, the chair, and audiences. HEDCen will always be a home our students and teachers can run to. The school provided everyone skills, values, education, and such through experience. In a way, everyone here developed themselves into better people who are all fighting for a better earth. I believe that our students are the ones who will be creating a change in this world. Upon hearing this crisis, like many other teachers, I feel shocked and confused as to how this happened. Fear also dominated my emotions because our senior high school students might not remember anything about what they learned from Hedson ever again. There are many reasons as to how this could have occurred, possibilities of relation distress, anxiety, and such. But for whatever reason it may be, I will use my voice and my mind as tools for us to develop and create appropriate ideas and resolutions that will quickly recover or regain the knowledge and skills of our dear, dear senior high school students in Henson. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Rolly R, you're recognized.
Good morning, staff of the Holistic Education and Development Center. As we all have been informed, we are meeting here today for the reason that students of senior high school have somehow, in some way, have lost all knowledge and skills they had obtained in school. Now, to us, this is not an uncommon issue as we face a similar problem every time a summer vacation ends and a new school year begins. We should all note to be open to all possibilities at the moment as the situation in front of us is still unclear. A quick and simple review for all subjects while skipping the in-depth explanations to topics may trigger a resparking of memory. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Romar, you're recognized.
Good morning, fellow members of the faculty. Uh, Knowledge is a very important thing, and the amount of time we've spent teaching our students could potentially be for nothing if we don't find out what's causing this or how to end or how to give our students memories back. Now, this could be caused by many things like mass hysteria or someone giving them amnestics and them forgetting everything. But for now, we must find a way. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Rudolph, you're recognized.
Good day, teachers, fellow faculty members. Today we have gathered here to discuss pressing matters, memory loss. Yes, quite a troublesome matter, isn't it? Really? All the knowledge we've worked to supply our students with gone with the wind? Well, if that appears to be the case, then I guess we just have to see what we as educators can do about the dilemma. And aptly for the season of preparing for college, the scenario seems fictional in nature. Memory loss, well, something triggered in every single senior high student, which is not good. Just like you have in your literature and video games, obstacles and test tensions arise that of which our objectives and desires must overcome to reach the end goal, in other words, the treasure. Whether this is of supernatural cause, we might not understand. Well, as we move on, we will. I've worked here for many years, my time here a meaningful and purposeful existence, and I am not willing to stop from behind bars. I believe it is best if we piece together a curriculum that allows our students knowledge of the basics they need for entry into college and application into the real world. That's right. Might the knowledge they learn outside of school be helped? For the teachers, we must think critically and outside the box. Let us work together to ready up our students for their years to come and avoid getting ourselves sued for, well, incompetence. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Rafi, you're recognized.
Hello, I am Coach Rafi. I know there is an issue about senior high school students having issues like forgetting some skills and knowledge. We should keep doing what we should do, and if it did not work, there's always a solution to solve this problem. And I hope our solutions would be effective to the students, and let's don't stop hoping for them. And I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Sarah, you're recognized.
My greetings to the Honorable Chair and fellow teachers. As a teacher of the Early Education Department, I am well aware of the importance of education and skills when it comes to the development of one's perception of life, society, and the roles within it. Considering that it's a good portion of a student's life is spent in school, the sudden occurrence of losing all experiences gained within this time frame is not a laughing matter. Stripping away all that we've learned or they've learned throughout the course of this learning could naturally take a significant toll on one's mental capacity, rendering those affected with a sudden relapse in reasoning and judgment. With this unfortunate crisis that has recently befallen our SHS students, possibly putting our students' mental and physical health at risk, I believe that it is of paramount importance that as we investigate a viable solution in helping these students regain their memory, we do our best to mitigate stress or any forms of distress that could possibly occur during this phenomenon. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Gab, you recognize the timer will start once you start speaking.
Good morning, heads and faculty teachers. Today, we are here to help the senior high school students. We do not know why they have mysteriously forgotten. I believe that all of us teachers will find a way on how to help students. We may not know if their knowledge and skills may come back or may never. This is a serious situation, and I know that we could do it and make our students' lives richer. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Chair.
Are there any other delegates who we have missed would like to deliver their speech? Sir
Glenn, you're
Glenn.
recognized.
Good morning, fellow teachers. I am the delegate of Sir Glenn, the bald human from the English department. Okay? Okay. This is a very concerning problem. I believe that we must try the methods that doctors have tried and tested before on patients, such as classical conditioning on the students. They have spent hundreds of thousands of pesos for these skills that they mysteriously forgot. While that is happening, we must try and teach them the topics that they have forgotten. It is extremely unlikely that they would have gotten a brain tumor all at the same time or a virus that somehow gives you dementia. But instead, there's probably some very new mysterious things here, so we must try and find out the root of the cause. Maybe HEDCen is a secret base for extraterrestrials to use for backup. Maybe there's an alien among us now. Maybe alien experiments made me lose all my hair. We will never know. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you.
Are there any other delegates? Seeing none, the floor is open for any motions or points that delegates would like to raise. The chair recommends a motion for a moderated caucus or an unmoderated caucus. Are there any delegates who would like to raise that motion? Betsy and Lloyd, you are recognized.
Hello?
Betsy and Lloyd, you are recognized.
I would like to motion for a moderated caucus for a time of 2 minutes.
2 minutes for a moderated caucus. Speaking time. 2 minutes speaking time. How long would you like for the moderated caucus to run?
Hello?
How long would you like the moderated caucus to be run?
2 minutes.
Is that per delegate or the entire moderated caucus?
For 2 minutes per delegate.
How long for the entire moderated caucus?
10 minutes, sir.
10 minutes. And what would be the purpose of this moderated caucus?
To give out certain resolutions and opinions of other teachers.
Okay, a moderated caucus for 5 minutes with 10 minutes with 2 minutes speaking time per delegate to discuss the opinions about the from other teachers? Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, uh, Secretary, those who would like to be included in this moderated caucus, please raise your hand and wait for the secretary to recognize you.
Uh, May, you're recognized. The timer will start once you start speaking.
This unbelievable and mysterious condition that our students have got must be some form of amnesia. As we try to develop and conduct certain procedures or medicine that may be the cure for such illness, we must try our best to prevent the development of worst case scenarios. According to doctors, sudden amnesia can be caused by acute emotional distress, which may be caused by overworking. There is a possibility that this type of amnesia may be due to stress or students using too much brain cells for their schoolworks. As of now, I suggest minimizing or reducing the amount of schoolwork and projects that are handed out to our students. This will not just help them, but will also prevent us teachers from getting infected and possibly forgetting the knowledge and skills our school HEDCen taught us and shared with us. As a teacher of HEDCen, I believe that the children are our future. We must teach them well and let them lead the way. We must show them the beauty they possess inside and give them a sense of pride to make it easier for them. We must let the children's laughter remind us how all of us used to be. With this being said, we teachers must try our best to make sure that our students are learning and enjoying. Along with reducing workload to our students, I also suggest saying corny jokes to our senior high school students because it will help them laugh and possibly have a higher chance of regaining their memories faster. I yield my time to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Uh, Ella and Ross, you're recognized.
As we are finding out the cause of this catastrophe, we must look forward and help the students give their, bring, give their knowledge back. To address the problem, we must prioritize all academic subjects, such as math, English, Filipino, sciences, and social sciences, and disregard all non academics as they can be learned at a later time. We must give out modules for each subject for them to read on their own time, apart from the lessons that we teach them during classes. And lastly, we must extend class hours and add an additional two subjects per day or create a non-required school session on the evenings. That's all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Betsy and Lloyd, you're recognized.
Good day. We should survey other students of other grade levels regarding their memory in terms of school. If they are experiencing memory loss as well, this might be the cause of stress. I believe we shouldn't give our students a ton of schoolwork and lessen their time in front of the computer. Let us give them more time for themselves, especially for their mental health, since it was reported that there is an increase of depression and anxiety since the lockdown. Thank you, and I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Angie, you're recognized.
Good day. So, what's the problem? It is the senior high school students mysteriously forgot all skills and their knowledge. How did this happen? When? Where? We don't know. So, here is one of my solutions. We have to teach them that everything we taught from start to recent inside the Zoom setting. Patience is a virtue for every teacher. Subject teachers shall teach different knowledge and skill sets depending on their subject. And that way it will be easier for not just for us, their teachers, but also for them and their parents. The students should not get pressured too much and we should not force them to remember everything the hard way. We should teach them lessons that can help them gain back their knowledge. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Sarsha and Liz, you're recognized.
From what we know, they have gotten their knowledge and skills relating to Hedson erased. I propose that they should be exposed to things that they have previously done or loved doing in our school, so that it may trigger their memories. Also, it is known that people with amnesia can regain their memories from doing things that they have done before. I would like to help with this by tasting the food that they will cook in my class and see if it compares to before. and hopefully it will trigger some of their lost knowledge. If ever that will not work, I will try to have them create business proposals in order to either regain or build their lost knowledge again. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Uh, Emma, you're recognized.
Uh, the reason what, as we, as I suggested earlier, we should at least help and understand the students, because understanding would help us help the students themselves recover from anxiety, depression, and stress during online classes, so they would be able to focus more on their schoolwork. and and speaking of schoolwork, we should also minimize them. We should not give them a lot of school works all the time, so just give them some time to at least recover. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Rudolph, you're recognized.
Sir Rudolph Rabago from the English department here. I believe it is best that we salvage what we can of the situation, allowing the students basics and outside knowledge to assist them through a curriculum designed to teach them the basics. Stories help young children in brain development. I believe by way of narrative telling, we might be able to assist in a number of fields. I believe also that it is imperative that we try to piece together the plausible factors affecting and causing the anomaly, not as a main segment and consumer of our time, but as we go. A specialized Perhaps a specialized team focused upon solving the situation. I do not believe this dilemma is a problem explainable by science, as all students got it at the same time, or at the very least, natural phenomena which is limited by our scientific knowledge. I believe it is a product of our subjective knowledge far distanced from the objective truth. I yield my time to.
Thank you. Rafi, you're recognized.
My solution for this issue is to give them review sessions to make them able to learn well and teach them not to get distracted in other things to make them concentrate on their studies. If there are students who are having a hard time on their subjects, we will give them longer study sessions, which is required so they could improve, and also we will give each student a required consultation. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Is that all for the delegates who wish to speak in the moderated caucus? Henry, Henry, you're recognized.
We, the heads and faculty, must think of a way to have backups in case of catastrophes like this. Have back have backed up strategies on what to do when students are experiencing memory loss. There is such a way mentioned by Teacher Liz and Teacher Sarsha that amnesiacs can regain back their memory by letting them do something they did before. We must give the heads way of teaching before. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Once again, is that all for the delegates who wish to speak in the moderated caucus? Gab, you're recognized.
So this crisis, to find a cure, it might take longer if this may be the cause of virus, stress, or other things. So I suggest reducing their school activities. Also, while doctors or scientists find what's the cause of this, as teachers, we must teach students at the very beginning. So teaching them the basics like reading, writing, numbers, and speaking. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Okay. Is that all for the delegates who wish to speak in the moderated caucus? Seeing that no, but never mind. Sarah, you're recognized.
Excuse me. Given that this phenomenon has wiped out all previously acquired skills provided by HEDCen education, as an early education teacher, I believe that as we try to understand the nature of this event, that we spend time trying to instill the basic knowledge into our students as to keep them mentally stimulated during this time of inactivity. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Once again, is there anyone who would like to speak in the Modern Caucus, having that 4 minutes left in the total duration? Seeing none, Chair, you may proceed to the next procedure.
Are there any motions or points that the delegates would like to raise? The chair would recommend raising a motion for a moderated caucus or unmoderated caucus to discuss or to author draft resolutions, draft directives, I mean. Mr. Henry, you are recognized.
Sir H would like to motion an unmoderated caucus discussing draft directives for 15 minutes.
15 minutes for an unmoderated caucus to discuss draft directives. Are there objections to this motion? Seeing none, those who would like to be placed in a breakout session for the unmoderated caucus, please state in the chat so that our rapporteur can put you in the appropriate groupings. Please state if you would like to join a particular delegate in a breakout session. Rudolph would like to join Sir Henry. That's new. Edlin, Maylene, Myra, your hand is raised.
Motion to be joined with Angie May Pilos and what was her name? I'm looking for that. Yes, Betsy and Lloyd. Thank you.
Angie, Maytilos, Betsy, and Lloyd, and then Edlin, Maylene, and Myra would like to form a group math department with Sarsha and Liz would like to join together. Glenn and Rafi would also like to join Sir Henry. Emma, you are recognized.
I would like to join mm, with Sir Rudolph.
Sir Rudolph, so that means also with Sir Henry. Emma would like to join Sir Rudolph, Sir Henry, and the others. Sarah would like to join a group with Angie. Ella and Ross, you are recognized.
Motion to join with Carmi, Karen, Ruby, and Sarsha and Liz.
Ella and Ross would join Sarsha and Liz. Marvin would like to join Sir Henry. Are there any other delegates who would like to form groups with other delegates in this meeting? Gab would like to form a group with Sir Gab would like to form a group with Ma'am Tess and Sir Rolly. Are there any other delegates who would like to join other delegates? Seeing none, committee rapporteur, are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Delegates, your groups have been formed. Please join 15 minutes. Belen would like to join Sir Henry's group though.
Too late. Cannot cannot add anymore.
Where is Belen?
Oh, wait, never mind. We can assign pala. Sorry.
Sorry, mabagal mag-type.
Chair, point of inquiry.
Uh, yes,
Should
we
I
are
start the
still.
timer already?
Yes, yes. We are still being live streamed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for 15 minutes, Mr. Secretary, can we have the standby the no Sir Rapporteur, can you please put up a standby screen instead, stating that we will return at around 9:17 a.m.
Okay.
And please, for us left in this room, Sir Romar did not join any groups. Is this correct or did we miss?
No, sir. I think he did not say anything about joining.
Okay. We will not be dancing. So let us turn off our cameras and wait for the time to proceed.
Point of inquiry, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Secretary.
Sir, am I supposed to make a Google Drive folder and then send it to all of them again?
Yes, if you can.
Okay, sir. teachers.
Yes. Yes.
Kindly broadcast 7 minutes left in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Alright.
You could have actually done that. You're a co-host also.
Sorry, I don't know how.
What?
Sir Romar, are you okay there?
Yes, sir. I have to make one on my own, right?
Well, no one. Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure, sir, because last time I had to make one even though I didn't join an alliance, and that was the one that was all convulsing because it was wrong format.
Okay. Remember, you don't need to add a preamble for this one. You can go directly to operative clauses.
Yes, sir.
Bombs.
Yes.
Can you try the Google Drive folder link?
Pasen.
It's in the chat.
Wala.
Chat.
It's not there.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alright.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Alright, thanks. Sir Romar. Which one? Sir Romar, kindly attach your resolution on the Google Drive folder, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Comms, kindly broadcast 5 minutes left because I don't know how.
Okay.
Comms,
Yes.
broadcast 1 minute left, and also broadcast reminder to upload their file in the Google Drive folder.
Comms, you can already close the breakout rooms. They have 1 minute naman before it completely closes.
Sir, I set it to instant close.
Ganun ba? Okay.
Yeah.
Time is up.
Okay. Yeah, and roll back.
Welcome back, delegates. As a reminder, please upload your draft directives into the Google Drive folder sent in our chat. Those who would like to have their draft directives be placed in the agenda, please make a motion so that you are recognized by the committee secretary. You may simply inform the committee secretary directly. Mr. Secretary, how many draft directives have been uploaded so far?
5. Done,
5.
which is correct.
Okay. Are there any motions or points that the delegates would like to raise at this point? The chair recommends motioning for a moderated caucus to discuss a draft resolution, to present a draft directive. Mr. Kalilong, you are recognized.
I would like to motion a moderated caucus, speaking time of 2 minutes, and 15 minutes of the whole duration.
What is the purpose of this moderated caucus?
Discussing of draft directives.
All the draft directives, or would you like to discuss for a moderated caucus just for your draft directive? We can have multiple moderated caucuses.
Yeah, personal directive. Yeah.
Okay. Before we proceed with that, I would like to read the opening speech of Miss Lillian, who is currently unable to attend because of technical difficulties. Good morning, Chair, people, and teachers. My name is Lilian Baruel. Today, our delegates are here to discuss one of the issues in HEDCen, and we're here to discuss the mysteriously forgotten knowledge and skills that the HEDCen senior high school students learned from the school. As all of you are aware, we are experiencing a situation, and it is the pandemic that caused some schools in the Philippines to do online classes at all levels. In HEDCen, we use a strategy to still continue learning and teaching through online classes. I suspect that the mysteriously forgotten knowledge and skills that the heads and senior high school students learned from the school is caused by our situation, which is the pandemic. It's also a possibility that the unexplained situation was caused by the prolonged absence from school grounds. I suggest that the solution for this is to teach the students once again the topics they've tackled before, but the fellow teachers shall convene in order to best find the most efficient way to reteach the forgotten knowledge. And for this reason, we urge all delegates of the House to vote in favor of the directive. Thank you for your attention. Okay, there is a point of inquiry. May two delegates present their draft resolution uh, that motion is in order. I will allow that. With regards to the motion raised by Sir Henry, that motion is also in order. So we will proceed with a moderated caucus. What is the duration, if you can repeat for us?
2 minutes speaking time and 5 minutes duration.
5 minutes duration with maximum of 2 minutes per delegate to speak. Mr. Secretary, are we ready for that? This is the moderated caucus to discuss Mr. Kalilong and Allies' draft directive.
Point of inquiry.
Yes, Mr. Secretary.
Am I supposed to screen share his directives?
Yes, please.
Comms,
Yes.
can you screen share, please?
Screen share what?
The Google, remember the Google Drive folder?
Okay. Oh, sure, sure. I wait. I closed it. Who will be the first one?
What is the title, Mr. Kalilong?
Draft directives exclamation point.
Okay. There's two.
The one with the draft. Directives
Draft.
exclamation point.
Wait, directives exclamation point or draft directives exclamation point? I'm very confused.
Draft directives exclamation point.
Okay, got it.
Your file names. Okay. Mr. Secretary, those who would like to be part of the speakers list for this moderated caucus, please make representation so that you are recognized by the committee secretary. Please raise your hand. Mr. Kalilong, would you like to be part of this moderated caucus? Yes. Are there any other delegates who would like to be part of this moderated caucus? Mr. Rudolph would also like to be part of this moderated caucus. Okay. Seeing no more delegates, we may proceed.
Sir Henry, you may start speaking and the timer will start once you Yeah.
Okay, good day to all delegates. So these are the draft directives, which was made by the block of Miss Belen, Teacher Emma, Sir Glenn, Sir Henry, Sir Marvin, Sir Rudolph, and Coach Rafi. So we would like to start off by giving all students required study sessions, give students consultations and exercises if they are having a hard time at a specific topic. If the students are not yet ready for a test, postpone the test and give the students time to study so they could answer the test well. Give students therapy sessions if they are either stressed, depressed, anxious, or stressed. What? Let HEDCen become a safe space for students who are either having financial, study, familial, or cyberbullying issues. Give 3 to 7 days in a half week of break after finals exam. Miss Sir Rudolph, may you continue the rest, please?
Okay. Um, give senior high students a session on their college entrance exams. And one of the most important segments is to make use of the environmental terrain as training grounds for the younger grade levels in case of sudden extraterrestrial attack. We are going to ensure the HEDSON students. Sorry. Oh no, it's stuck. Oh no, sorry. Sorry. Ensure that HEDSON senior high students are in good physical, emotional, and mental condition. Use CIA's data from Project MK Ultra to create better memory controlled experiments to conduct on students. Turn HEDSON Science Lab's second floor into a secret soundproof facility where we conduct meetings and experiments to combat the possible extraterrestrials. To make students not stressed, give them a right amount of work. Put together a permanent team considered skilled, well-built, and well-equipped enough to hypothesize and solve for the cause of the anomaly, where I would like to raise several points first before I continue. One, known science is highly unlikely, seeing as the scope is too specific. Senior high school students and things related to what they learn in school. Um, and there are too many students. All students are actually affected by this anomaly, which makes it highly unlikely to be something scientific, or at least scientific that we know of or can handle. Next, we carry out inspections of past happenings in regards to the phenomena plaguing our senior high school students. Historical accounts and literature of the past. B. Recorded wide-scale psychological phenomena. Then we move on to possibly implementing ways they train a Jedi to use the Force to help students regain their memories. And then we move on to create a tunnel underground leading straight into Tungtung River to possibly escape being sued or jailed for supposed incompetency. Because the government will simply not understand our situation. And then we create and build up funds to survive and be able to combat possible legal suits. Because the government, along with parents, may work against us. Thank you for listening to our draft directives. I yield my time to the chair.
Are Sir Rudolph and Sir Henry open to any points of information?
Yes, we are open.
Yes.
Those who would like to raise a point of information, please raise your hand. Miss May, you are recognized.
Okay, upon seeing the plan to create a soundproof room on the second floor of the science lab, won't be that deemed unnecessary and waste of time and money when we can just talk with lower voices?
The government might bug the area in places where you wouldn't know. Like ball pens, people can put microphones in ball pens, people can have students or other teachers capable of double crossing us and talking to the government directly. That's why, in relation to the soundproof room, we have a specialized team that will keep the secret amongst themselves.
Point of
We need extra
information.
precaution measures. You can never be too safe.
Pwede ulit. Point of information.
Sir Rudolph and Sir Henry,
Yes.
are you open to another point of information?
Yes, we are open to point of information.
Go ahead, Miss May.
Won't it be hard to assure that the team won't have any spies? Money is a big problem nowadays. Anyone can be paid to talk in behalf of another group. So won't that the money be used here maybe just used for something else more necessary and more helpful in finding the cure for this disease?
For one, this is one aspect of funded research team, and for two, secondly, this is a possibility that everyone has to face. Everyone can possibly be bribed and can possibly fall into the wrong hands or use information to their own will. It's a possibility that everyone has to take every risk. We can't have robots do it for us because we're not in that stage yet. So for this, we have to trust in our research team and we have to select it very strictly based on skill level, on what they know, because we'll take it from multiple perspectives. The scientific, we won't disregard that. Mystic, if that's a possibility, supernatural, that's always going to be out there because of how specific the scope is. And yes, it'll be on, how we pick them upon qualification and trust.
Are there any other points or motions at this moment? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation. Before we move on to the voting procedure, we will proceed with the presentation of the rest of the resolutions and the directives first. Are there any motions for moderated caucus to present the directive? Edlin, Maylene, and Myra, you are recognized.
Motion to present the draft resolution of Edlin, the Business Office Department, Mayty Laws, Betsy and Carlos, and Chan. Thank you.
Who is Carlos?
Lloyd.
Lloyd. I'm sorry.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, the motion passes. What is the duration of the moderated caucus?
Maximum of 10 minutes for the whole duration, 4 minutes per delegate speaking time.
The chair will not allow that. That point is out of order. We will follow the same duration as the previous presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Chair. Thank you.
So 5 minutes of total presentation time with the maximum of 2 minutes per delegate to speak. Delegates would like to be part of the speakers list. Please raise your hand. Secretary, please recognize them.
May you recognize Evelyn, Madeline, Myra. You're recognized.
Are there any more? Seeing none. Secretary, on your signal. Comms, if we may display their draft resolution.
Okay. 150%. Okay. May, you may, Miss May, you may start speaking.
It's me first.
Okay. And then Mylene and Miss Myra, you may start speaking.
Okay, so for our resolution, we call it Operation Balik Ala Ala. So Operation Balik Ala Ala, or Operation Regaining Back the Memories, we will provide the students with an online interactive program to help them regain their memories. This could be done through ASMR for the students, ASMR about nature sounds, rustling leaves, river sounds. This could help the students trigger certain environmental sounds they experienced while they were learning in HEDCen. Sounds are proven to unlock memories because of the brain's familiarity and association with these noises. So doing this activity could help aid and treat the students' disappearance of the heads and HLS students' memories. Um, this all also organized if the government and school faculty agrees. We could provide the students with field work while practicing proper COVID-19 protocols. By going to the school, this could help the students remember certain activities they used to do here. So also school time. The students are not to attend school the whole day. They are only to attend school from 8 to 12 p.m. with a 30-minute break for recess. We want to give them longer time for themselves and lessen their time on the computer to work on their mental health and focus on their interests and hobbies. We should also establish a meditation program to provide the students with a healthy mindset and help them handle their dissociative symptoms and be more aware of their internal states. By meditating, the students will have a safe place and approaching it in a calm manner and no pressure, they can regain bits and pieces of information about their past. Following such a program can do well in mitigating stress and frustration brought about by their sudden loss of memory. And that's all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Miss
Okay.
May, you're recognized.
Please go to knowledge comms. Okay. So basic knowledge is to be taught. Of course, we will also the teachers will also be practicing patience with this. We will be supporting each other by teaching them lessons that will help them regain their knowledge and skills. Please go down. Please go down. Okay, the Tung Tong Reminisce program. So we teachers of HEDCen are able to educate our students through experience-based learning. So what better way can we do by simply allowing our students to go back to Tungtong? So while they go to Tungtong, we will be holding a quiz bee per subject. And while they are doing the quiz bee, they will be also balancing a plant, a seedling, a baby plant on their hand, which symbolizes their developing minds. So to motivate them to answer the right questions, each correct answer will be prized with the famous kwek kwek with sauce from the canteen. Of course, we will also be practicing basic health protocols due to recognition of the world's pandemic. And this will be done during, before, and after the trip to so lastly, we will be calling upon the advanced UP Brain Forces. We are to combine the brains of the following teachers, Sir Henry, Sir Rudolph, Sir Romer, and Sir Glenn under the supervision of teacher Emma. So we will be developing a cure or a practice that would help with the memory loss of our dear senior high school students. Thank you very much. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you. Are there
Are
any?
are Miss May, Miss Edlin, Maylene, and Myra open to any points of information?
Yes, we will only be entertaining maximum of 3 points of information. Thank you.
Are there any delegates who would like to raise a point of information regarding this draft directive? Yes, Sir Glenn, you are recognized.
Would you be willing to use the super secret soundproofed room for the ASMR and the meditation? I'm telling you, it's a good
Hello.
investment.
Thank you, Sir Glenn, for that question. Yes, we would be using very high tech and very nice rooms for this ASMR because we would love to for the students to have a real beautiful experience of ASMR by the sounds of silence. Thank you. I yield my time.
Sarsha and Liz, you are recognized.
In these programs, will they be still paying for tuition? Will it be higher or lower?
Uh, like what we mentioned earlier, money is a big problem. So we are nice enough to maintain the same amount of tuition.
In
Sir
accordance
Rudolph.
with the business office, which thank you.
Sir Rudolph, you are recognized.
You mentioned gaining help from the government.
Yes.
What if, the government turned the other wheel and go against the school?
Oh, we have connections.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing that has already been 3 points of information, we would like to thank the delegates for their representing their draft directive. At this point, are there any motions? Yes, Carmi, Karen, and Ruby, you are recognized.
The math department motion to introduce the directives, and we would like to request for a speaking time of 2 minutes for the 5 minutes time duration.
Okay, are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, those who would like to be part of the speakers list for this moderated caucus, please raise your hand and wait for the secretary to recognize you. Miss Carmi, Karen, and Ruby, you might want to be part of this moderated caucus.
Okay. Chikarmi, Karen, Ruby, you're recognized.
Are there any other delegates who would like to be part of this? Seeing none, we may proceed. Comms, please project.
File name, please.
What's the file name?
Sarsha Barkada.
The file name is Sarsha Barkada, Comms.
Okay, found it.
You may begin when you are ready.
Okay. Our blog is composed of teacher Ruby, Carmi, Karen, Ella, Ross, and Lee Sarsha. And okay, so our blog urged to urge the members of please urge the member of HEDCen teacher and faculty member to do everything that may possibly bring back the memories of students. Thus, suggest faculty members to turn on the song "Memories" by Maroon 5 using speakers to bring back the skills and knowledge of the students, and strongly recommends a high dosage of canteen calamansi juice because that thing bring back all the memories of everything we've been through, and also it is high in vitamin C and potassium that is good for the brain. And further suggests that they practice a healthy lifestyle in order to attain their health goals, as physical and mental health go hand in hand. And we also recommend that students should undergo previous memorable activities in school or repetitive activity that are embedded in their memory, such as cooking classes. Other examples are Science Expo and Tongtong River Conservation Project. And also we emphasize the need to go for authorities and people the field of psychology and other scientists to help in this event. And calls for need of Swedish massage, also known as circular motion, on their memory pressure points. And we also proposes that students be reminded of the equipment that they need to replace in the science lab in attempt to make them regain their memories. And lastly, but not least, emphasize the need to dance the health go mo. I wellness dance every day until memory game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you open to any points of information?
Except 3 point.
Okay. Are there any delegates who would like to raise any points of information regarding this draft directive by Sarsha Barkada? Sir Rudolph, you are recognized.
Hello. How will you assure? Under what basis do you think health goal mo ay wellness dance will help gain their memory after repeated practice? What is the basis or the bases to this?
As teacher Sasha and teacher Liz said, amnesia, a certain memory gain. Wait, sorry. You can bring back your memory when you do something that you did before. So yeah, that's why we emphasize the need to dance the health goal when I wellness dance.
Are there any other
Thank
points
you.
of information? Miss May, you are recognized.
In recognition to the emphasizing of the need to dance, health, goal, mo, and wellness every day, we must all be aware that sudden amnesia can be caused by too much physical activity. And we all know that dancing is a form of cardio. Won't this develop into a more severe case of forgetting the knowledge and skills Hudson taught us?
As
It
stated,
can. I say, go ahead.
the serious event occurred in all senior high school students. Now, it is highly unlikely that they were all engaged in rigorous physical activity in order for them to uh, get memory loss all at the same time. So it goes hand in hand with the other directive that we have is to attain a healthy lifestyle, as a healthy body can help with a healthy mind. So the need for a daily dance of health goals mo eye wellness can support that.
Okay, are there any other points of information? Seeing none, thank you. We now proceed to, are there any points or motions that the delegates would like to raise? I believe there are two more draft directives that are in the Google Drive. Yes, Ma'am Tess. Miss Tess, you're recognized. Okay, it seems that Ma'am Tess retreated. Are there any other points or motions that the delegates would like to raise at this point?
Sir,
Yes, Miss Tess.
sir, requesting to present my draft resolution, speaking time 2 minutes.
Speaking time 2 minutes, maximum time of 5 minutes for the entire presentation. Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none. Ma'am Tess, Miss Tess, what is the file name for your draft directive?
Draft directive, Gabrolites.
Whatever that is. Coms, I think you understood what she said. Because I didn't.
Can you please repeat that? I didn't hear it also.
Uh, Draft directive, Gabrolites.
It's Gabrolites.
All right, found it.
I thought it was some word. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, Miss Tess. Those who would like to be part of this moderated caucus, please raise your hand for the secretary to recognize you. Miss Tess, would you like to be part of this moderated caucus? Yes.
And Ma'am Tess, you're recognized.
Are there any other delegates who would like to be included in the speakers list? Seeing no more, we may proceed.
So this is our proposed draft directive as sponsor Gab, Rolly, and Tess. Our first one is considers teaching the students with the basics such as reading, writing, numbers, speaking. Second is authorizes the authorities to be involved in the investigation as the full situation is still unclear to our faculty. Third, encourages a softer approach when teaching to further encourage the students to relearn what they have lost. Fourth, requests that the students' responsibilities are lightened to assist them in focusing on rebuilding their fundamental skills. Fifth one is further requests the hiring of more capable and reliable teachers to aid in this issue, such as those who have involved themselves in psychology. Sixth, endorses the use of outside sources for learning such as YouTube, Khan Academy, and others to assist in their learning. And the last one is it calls upon the help of psychologists to consult with the faculty regarding the issue. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Tess, will you be open to any points of information?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. We'd close this moderated caucus and proceed with the table is again once again open for any motions or points that the delegates would like to raise. I believe there is still
Sir Omar.
one more resolution, one more draft directive in the drive. Riley.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm kind of empty stomach. I'd like to raise a motion to discuss my draft directive.
Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, you may take all the time that you need.
File name, please.
It's draft directive. It's a PDF.
I found it.
Okay, so we recognize that all our students have lost all the memory they've learned from HEDCen, and all that time and knowledge we've spent teaching our young students all these valuable information is very important, and we need to somehow get their memories back. So I urge all the members of this faculty to limit the amount of work you assign to your students. Don't do what happened to us this week. We had a lot of things. Encouraging all members of the faculty to talk about fun memories you've had with your students in the past. And we also urge all the teachers to show footage or pictures you may have collected over the years of your students who have lost their memories. Also, since this is senior year, this could all just be a senior prank. So I request all teachers to interrogate all your students if it's a prank. Because could be. I also urge all members of the faculty to check for symptoms of mass hysteria, possible drug use, or amnestics brought by a secret organization tasked with containing things. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Sir Omar, would you be open to any points of information?
Yes, sir.
Are there any delegates who would like to raise points of information regarding this draft directive by Sir Omar? Seeing none, we proceed to the voting procedure. Thank you. Coms, can you please remind us what the 5 draft resolutions are? We have one from led by Sir Henry and Sir Rudolph. The second one was presented by... Who presented the second one?
The block of Sir Rudolph, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Miss May and...
Miss May, Teacher Angie, Teacher Betsy, admin team.
The third one was...
The Sarsha Barkada.
Sarsha Barkada.
And the fourth one was by Ma'am Tess.
Gabroli
And the last one by Sir Omar. Okay. Is there a motion to move directly to voting procedure? Yes, Sir Henry.
Motion to move directly to voting procedure.
Okay. Are there any objections to this motion? Seeing none, we move on to the voting procedure. So, are there any motions for the type of voting to be done? Motion for a roll call voting or motion for a simple majority? Yes, Miss May?
Motion for simple majority.
Okay, thank you. So on the matter, that motion is recognized. That motion passes. Okay. Uh, in relation to the directive authored by Sir Henry, Sir Rudolph, and a few others, those in favor of passing this directive, please raise your hand. And let it stay there for 10 seconds. Henry, you are recognized. Glenn, you're recognized. Rudolph, you're recognized. Marvin, you're recognized. Rafi, you're recognized. Those who would like, who are not in favor of this directive, Rudolph and Marvin, please put down your hands. Those who are not in favor of this resolution, please raise your hand. Not in favor. Okay. Carmi, Karen, and Ruby, your vote is only counted once. May, Sarsha, and Liz, your vote is also counted as a single vote. Ella and Ross, and then Edlin, Maylene, and Myra, and Angie. Are those who have not yet voted, you will be recorded as abstained.
5 in favor, 6 against.
5 in favor, 6 again. The directive does not pass. We proceed to the next draft directive. The directive authored by Miss May, Miss Angie, Edlin, Maylene, and Myra, and Ella Ross din ba? Or hindi? Hindi. Okay. The directive authored by May, Angie, Edlin, Maylene, and Myra. Those in favor of passing this directive, please raise your hand. May, you are recognized. Angie, you are recognized. Betsy and Lloyd, you are recognized. Edlin and friends, you are recognized. Sarah, you are recognized. Any more votes? Sir Romar, you are recognized. Gab is recognized. Did I forget anyone? Henry, you are recognized. What a team player. Sir Glenn, you are recognized. Miss Belen is recognized. Ella and Ross, you are recognized. And Sir Rudolph, you are recognized. I believe Carmi and friends, you are recognized. I believe that already suffices for the majority, Mr. Secretary.
Correct.
Seeing more approval. That motion, that directive passes. You may clap. Okay. With regards to the third directive authored by the Sarsha Barkada, before we proceed, please lower your hands first. Lower your hands so that we can clear the screen. Those in favor of the directive by Sarsha Barkada, please raise your hand. Carmi, you're recognized. Betsy and Lloyd, you're recognized. Sarsha, you are recognized. Ella and Ross, you are recognized. Miss May, you are recognized. Teacher Angie, you are recognized. Did I forget anyone? Edlin, And friends, you're recognized. Sarah, you're recognized. Coms, you may not vote.
Oh.
Did I forget anyone? Miss May is here. Sir Henry, you are recognized. Okay. Those, please lower your hand. Those who are not in favor of this resolution, of this draft directive, Ellen Ross, please put down your hand. Those who are not in favor of the draft directive authored by the Sarsha Barcada, please raise your hand. Seeing none, the chair assumes that you are all abstaining and the motion passes. The directive passes. You may clap. On the draft resolution authored by Tess, Rolly, and Gab, those in favor of this directive, please raise your hand. Ms. Tess, you are recognized. Miss May, you are recognized. Betsy and Lloyd, you are recognized. Angie, you are recognized. Sir Glenn, you are recognized. Sarsha and Liz, you are recognized. Sir Rolly, you are recognized. Sir Gab, you are recognized. Miss Edlin, you are recognized. Are there any more votes? Miss May, please lower your hand. Those who are not in favor of this draft directive, please raise your hand. Sir Henry, you are recognized. Seeing no more votes, we will be assuming that the other delegates are abstaining on this one. Although may mga nagsabi na voting sila, di ba, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in any case, seeing more people who are in favor than those who are not in favor, the motion passes. Congratulations. You may clap. With regards to the directive authored by Sir Romar, it automatically passes. Those in
Object! Object!
Object.
Those in
Point of
favor
order.
of the draft directive authored by Sir Romar, please raise your hand. Is the author not in favor of the draft directive that he authored?
What happened to Sir Omar?
Yikes.
Riley.
Sir, I'm not sure if I'm gonna vote on my own, sir.
Seeing no votes for approval, then that automatically means the motion that the draft directive does not pass. Okay. But it still passes in our hearts. uh, Teacher Sarah, do you have anything to say? At this point, are there any other motions or points that the delegates would like to make? The chair recommends a motion to adjourn the session.
Yay.
Sir Henry, you are recognized.
Motion to adjourn the session.
Okay. This motion requires a simple majority to pass. Those in favor of adjourning the session, please raise your hand. Ang bibilis. This motion passes. This committee session is adjourned. Congratulations, everyone.
Yay!
UN Secretary General, would you like to say anything before we go on break?
Hello. I would just like to say thank you once again to the delegates for attending and participating in this crisis of HEDCen Model UN faculty meeting. Thank you for all the draft resolutions that were passed. Your participation was very nice, even though the resolutions were out of this world and extraterrestrial. Thank you. Yun lang.
And what time do we return for the Model UN General Assembly?
10:30.
10:30.
10:30.
Thank you.
So we will now
We will
go on
now go
break.
on break.
You may have your break. When you think about it, with that particular situation, that means Macy would be the smartest one, diba? Because she's the one who spent the least amount of time in HEDCen. Because it only says they've lost all their skills and knowledge that they gained from the school. And the next
Ano?
person would be Ulrich.
Where?
Yeah,
So
because
si Julian. Yes, sir, si Julian.
Si Julian pa nga pala. Si Julian
Oh.
kasi parang forever nasa HEDCen eh.
Siyempre, kita ko yung lahat.
Nakasiksik sa sa bookshelf. Okay, anyway.
Sir, siya yung bata sa library.
Walang sasayaw ha.
Sana meron.
Pwede naman, sige, go ahead.
Health goals nga dyan.
Hello, delegates. Please rename yourselves already to your assigned committee and country. Thank you. Also, please place your draft resolutions to the Google Drive provided by our secretary, since we will be presenting them later. Yeah. We are experiencing technical difficulties. We will begin at 10:40 since not all the delegates have renamed themselves. Let us give them time to prepare, and not all the draft resolutions have been submitted in the draft. Please submit them now so we can begin at exactly 10:40. Thank you. Three more minutes. I repeat, 3 more minutes before we begin. Who is this Rafi? And please rename yourself. Joaquin Abelia, please rename yourself to your country and committee. It is now 10:40. Let us now begin with the main conference for today's committee session. Okay, so we yeah, okay, thank you. Before we proceed with the presentation of the resolutions, welcome back, delegates. I hope you are all well rested and energized for the presentation of today's draft resolutions for the final part or the General Assembly of our HEDMUN 2021. So, can I get a round of applause for everyone who is here? Yes, please give a round of applause to every delegate here. Thank you. Okay, before we proceed with the presentation of the resolutions, we will first have a roll call of the delegates. Delegates, once you're called, please state if you're present or present in voting. Secretary, may I please have the screen share? Thank you. Okay. Republic of Albania,
Present.
Federative Republic of Brazil,
Present. Present.
People's Republic of China,
Present.
okay. French Republic, French Republic. Okay, let us move on to the next delegate. Republic of Indonesia,
Present.
Republic of Iraq, Republic of
Present.
Iraq. Okay, thank you. Japan. Okay, Japan is not here. Grand Duchy of Luxembourg,
Present and voting.
uh, the delegate of Luxembourg. Okay, New Zealand,
Present.
Kingdom of Norway,
Present.
Republic of Paraguay, Republic of Philippines,
Present.
Romania,
Present.
Russian Federation,
Present and voting.
Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Okay, he's not here. Republic of Singapore,
Present.
Republic of Singapore,
Present.
okay. Republic of South Africa, Republic of South Africa, Ukraine,
Present.
United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So she's not here. United States of America.
Present.
Okay. We will now begin. We will now start with the presentation of approved committee resolutions from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Culture Organization with the topic racism, racial discrimination, and related forms of intolerance. The committee resolution was passed by the bloc consisting of the delegates. May the delegates please raise their hands to be acknowledged. To those delegates who passed this resolution, please raise your hand. Russia, you are recognized. Luxembourg, you are recognized. Okay, so this committee resolution was passed by everyone from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. May I have a representative to speak for the whole block. Please raise your hand if you are the representative to present the draft resolution regarding this topic. May I please have the representative? Okay, Russia, you are recognized. You will be the one to talk about this draft resolution. So you will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking.
Wait. Point of inquiry. Point of inquiry.
You are acknowledged, Russia.
The delegate of the Russian Federation would like to pass on the speaking to the delegate of Luxembourg.
Your motion is passed. Delegate of Luxembourg, would you like to speak on behalf of your bloc?
Yes.
Okay, acknowledged. You will be the one to speak for this draft resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking. Thank you.
This draft resolution was formed by the committee in UNESCO with the sponsors of Albania, Luxembourg, New Zealand, Norway, Paraguay, Philippines, Romania, Russia, Singapore, and the United States of America. This draft resolution was formed in order to come up with solutions against racism, racial discrimination, and other forms of intolerance. In this draft resolution, we have realized things such as we are alarmed by the uncountable amount of individuals who have been affected by the impact of racism. And we have realized that the impact of racism on our society in their daily lives, health, social well being, and standing, recognizing that global action is needed in order to combat discrimination in all its forms. Expressing deep concerns with discrimination against natives and people of color. And we encourage to create awareness campaigns to educate people about the current problems in intolerance. You would also like to call upon the relevant agencies that monitor and enforce the rules and regulations made against racism to enforce stricter regulations. So our plans regarding these would be: one, to educate the youth to accept and respect every person of every color, therefore they are also human. Two, prevent from bringing out racial slurs and or stereotypes towards others of different races. Can you please scroll down? Thank you. 3. To establish a bill that a person cannot, for example, be arrested or dismissed from their work on the basis of race or ethnic group, nationality, socioeconomic situation, language, ideology, or political opinion, religion or belief, unionization or participation in trade union organizations, or the lack thereof, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital status, age, affiliation, personal appearance. Please scroll down. And illness or disability. And lastly, we would like to establish better community guidelines and education to remove racial discrimination that may arise from their upbringing. As said by other people before, that intolerance is not something you are born with, but rather is taught by those older than you. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate of Luxembourg. The floor is now open for questioning. The block will be open to a maximum of 3 to 5 questions only. Delegates, to ask questions, please raise your hand in the participants panel. The first to raise their hand would be the one to ask the question. Delegates, once you are recognized, you may start asking the presenter your question. So I would like to call on again, are there any delegates that have points of information or questions they would like to ask the delegate of Luxembourg regarding this draft resolution? Um, Seeing that there are none, let us now proceed to the voting for this resolution to be passed as a draft resolution. Secretary, please screen share the chairman. Thank you. Okay. To those who said present during the roll call shall vote yes, no, or abstain. For the draft resolution presented by this first block, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? Press the yes if you agree or no if you are against. Raise hand if you're abstain. Brazil, you are acknowledged.
It seems that there are no yes or no buttons in the
Okay,
reactions.
I'm sorry. We will have a roll call voting. I'm sorry, my mistake. Thank you for pointing that out, Brazil. Thank you. Delegate of Albania,
Yes.
delegate of Brazil,
Yes.
delegate of China,
Yes.
delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
delegate of Iraq,
Yes.
delegate of Luxembourg, delegate of New
Yes.
Zealand,
Yes.
delegate of Norway,
Yes.
delegate of Philippines,
Yes.
delegate of Romania,
Yes.
delegate of Russia,
Yes.
delegate of Singapore,
Yes.
delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
delegate of United States.
Yes.
Seeing that the majority have agreed, this resolution is approved. Congratulations to the delegations of the whole UNESCO committee on your approved resolution. Seeing that this is the only resolution, we will now proceed on the approved committee resolution to the topic education during the pandemic. We will now start with the presentation of the approved committee resolution from UNESCO's education during the pandemic. This committee was passed by the bloc consisting of the delegates of Luxembourg, New Zealand, Philippines, and Singapore. May the representative of this bloc please raise their hand in order to be recognized. Once again, may the representative of this block please raise their hand to be recognized in order to speak for on behalf of their block. Um, I would like to call on again who would be the representative to speak on behalf of their block for this draft resolution from the delegates of
Uh,
Luxembourg, New Zealand, Philippines, and Singapore. Please raise your hand in order to be recognized. New Zealand, you are recognized. You will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking.
hello, delegates. This hello, delegates. I'm here to present you the the draft resolution of Luxembourg, New Zealand, Philippines, and Singapore. And this is our, our declaration, which recognizes that there is a need for change in education policies in order for it to be available to the whole population, and acknowledging that there may be other alternatives for education during the pandemic, and fully aware that despite the efforts undertaken by the international community to make education available during the pandemic, many are unable to access education, and emphasizes on the well-being of students due to the prolonged exposure of the online event, expresses its hope that state governments grant its full support towards the implementations taken to make education more accessible virtually or physically, and recognizes that safety is the number one priority of students and teachers. Online distance learning is the solution to make classes continue in the pandemic. And one, encourages other countries to comply with the goals and policy creations or changes. Two, requests the improvement of infrastructure in developing countries in order for access to online education. Three, recommends the provision of information regarding how to access and or use technology relevant to online classes. Four, further requests the government and local private institutions to provide a certain amount of aid to ensure student participation in an online setting. Five, urges educational institutions to collect feedback from the students and adapt accordingly. Six, stresses the continuing need for affordable education. And I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate of New Zealand. Hold on. The floor is now open for questioning. The block will be open to a maximum of 3 to 5 questions only. To ask questions, please raise your hand in the participants panel. The first raise your hand will be the one to ask the question. Seeing there are no one who would raise their hands, I would be calling on delegates to ask the questions themselves. From World Health Organization, the delegate of Brazil, delegate of Brazil,
Can you scroll down a little, please? To the, yes. What are some of, can you please give me an example of some of these improvements in infrastructure that will give people better learning access to online education, especially in
Come
regions
again?
that are very far away from urban areas, like mountain tribes that associate with lowlands that have schools there, settings similar to those.
Come again?
Um, how would you improve the infrastructure in developing countries? Yeah, how would you implement number two? Give me examples in rural settings far away from urban areas.
Uh, we will give them some supplies. Uh,
Luxembourg, you are recognized,
Write the reply.
acknowledged. Please reply to.
In this situation, you're more concerned with online learning because it's really the one of the most implemented methods for education is time, and face to face isn't really an option if you're considering safety of the students. So if you were to improve infrastructure in rural areas, we would like to provide perhaps electricity, internet access, and perhaps public devices or devices that we can give out to students in that area.
All right. Thank you.
Um, are there any more questions from the delegates? Please raise your, please raise your hand. Luxembourg, please put down your hand. Okay, we will now have a roll call voting. Um, for those who said present during the roll call shall vote yes, no, or abstain. For the draft resolution presented by this block, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? We will now have a roll call voting for this. Delegate of Albania,
Yes.
Delegate of Brazil,
Yes.
Delegate of China,
Yes.
Delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
Delegate of Iraq,
Yes.
Delegate of Luxembourg,
Yes.
Delegate of New Zealand, Delegate of New Zealand,
yes.
Delegate of Norway,
Yes.
Delegate of Philippines,
Yes.
Delegate of Romania,
Yes.
Delegate of Russia.
Yes, with right.
Oh, please state your speech.
Okay. Why I chose to approve this resolution is that today's education is very important our for our students. It is something that builds up uh, what they have in the future, and to abide certain aiding needs for our current educational system. It is important to help and uh, aid those in need of certain of certain needs in terms of education. And that is all.
Thank you, Russia. Delegate of Singapore,
Yes.
delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
delegate of United States.
Yes.
Okay. I seeing that the majority or all have agreed, this resolution is approved. Congratulations to the delegates of Luxembourg, Singapore, New Zealand, and the Philippines for your approved committee resolution from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization with the topic Education During the Pandemic. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. We will now proceed with the approved draft resolutions from the World Health Organization with the topic with the topic plan to start the betterment of slow mental health responses.
Point of inquiry, who are the
Yes.
delegates?
Oh, the delegates are Brazil, China, Indonesia, and United Kingdom. Okay, may the representative of this block please raise their hand in order to be recognized. Um, anyone from the delegates of Brazil, China, Indonesia, and United Kingdom? Okay, Indonesia, you are recognized. You will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking.
Good day, delegates. So here is our resolution. So the title of our resolution is Plan to Start the Betterment of Slow Mental Health Responses, realizing that average of the countries only spend less than 2% of their health budgets when it comes to mental health. Deeply concerned on over 60 countries, people with mental health are being shackled. Recognizing treatment for people with mental health issues. So here is our plan for the mental health. So number one, calls upon nations to promote mental health among their youths through programs and social media. Number two, urges nations to have a minimum budget relative to its GDP. China advocates a policy that will require countries to have a minimum budget relative to the country's GDP that will go towards the following: A. Suicide hotlines, B. Psychiatric training. Number three, further requests local government to keep track of schools environment and values education. Then number four, supports the use of the internet to communicate with teenagers in need of assistance in terms of their mental state. Thank you. Ay, meron pa. Urges nation to spread awareness of proper parenting. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, delegate of Indonesia. Are there any delegates who are against this resolution?
There is point of personal privilege raised by Brazil.
You are recognized, Brazil. Please state your point of personal privilege.
Might I use the restroom, please?
You're acknowledged. Please turn off your camera and your mic, and you may proceed. Okay, once again, I will ask, are there any delegates who are against this resolution? Are there, okay, there are no one against. So, are there any questions regarding this draft resolution from the delegates? Any questions? Point of inquiries? Okay, Russia, you are recognized.
May you please scroll down to the last page. Okay. So delegate of this block, uh, when you say urges nation to spread awareness of proper parenting, uh, how will this be uh, addressed to parents?
Uh, Before being parents, they will be given an invitation to watch a program about proper parenting. That's all.
Okay. Are there any more questions regarding this draft resolution? Okay, Russia, are you raising your hand?
Uh, just to follow up, delegate of Indonesia, what what part of when you say proper parenting, what qualities do we find in when you say proper parenting that could help mental health?
Uh, in terms of being able to help your child cope with difficult emotions. That's all.
Okay, Russia, was your question answered?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Are there any more questions for this draft resolution submitted by Brazil, China, Indonesia, and United Kingdom? Seeing there are none, let us proceed to the roll call voting. So once again, to those who said present during the roll call shall vote yes, no, or abstain. For those who said yes and I present and voting may only vote yes or no. So for the draft resolution presented by the bloc of China, Brazil, Indonesia, and United Kingdom, shall we pass this as a draft resolution? Let us now begin with the roll call. The delegate of Albania,
Yes.
delegate of Brazil,
Yes.
delegate of China,
Yes.
delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
delegate of Iraq,
Yes.
delegate of Luxembourg,
Abstain.
delegate of New Zealand,
Abstain.
delegate of Norway,
Abstain.
delegate of Philippines,
Abstain.
delegate of Romania,
Abstain.
delegate of Russia,
Abstain.
delegate of Singapore,
Abstain.
delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
delegate of United States.
Abstain.
Seeing that most with this resolution, unfortunately, your draft resolution is not approved by the committee. We will now proceed with the approved committee resolution on the topic combating malnutrition in middle and low income nations. Okay, so the committee resolution passed by the blocks consisting of the delegates of Japan and Saudi Arabia will now be presented. May I please have the representative for this block to present the resolution? Mind you that Japan and Saudi Arabia are not present for this time. Okay, for the chair of the WHO, you are recognized. You'll be the one to present the resolution by Japan and Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much, Secretary General.
You'll be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking. Thank you.
Good day, delegates. This is the draft resolution made by the delegates of Saudi Arabia and Japan. Unfortunately, they are not present, so I will be the one presenting it. So the topic is about combating malnutrition in middle and low income nations. They want to realize the great human sufferings and important health and socioeconomic problems caused by micronutrient deficiencies, especially irreversible brain damage and mental retardation from iodine deficiency, childhood blindness and increased mortality from vitamin A deficiency, and retarded physical and mental development, low birth weight, and maternal mortality from iron deficiency. They would what they would want to note with concern the large number of people at risk for iodine deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, and nutritional anemia. They would want to recognize the experience of the past decade to accelerate and intensify specific activities and integrated approaches regarding the micronutrient malnutrition in order to achieve concrete results in countries. First, they want to express its hope to strengthen the activities recommended in the report and integrate them in their national health and development programs. They are taking into account any recommendations that may be made to this effect by the International Conference on Nutrition. They want to draw the attention of technical and financial resources to ensure the successful implementation of national activities to control micronutrient malnutrition. They would want to prepare guidelines on national strategies for prevention and control of micronutrient deficiencies. And they want to take note of mobilized additional technical and financial resources for intensified support to the member states. Thank you very much, and I yield my time back to the chair.
Thank you, the WHO chair, for presenting that draft resolution. Um, are there any delegates who are against this resolution? Okay, I take that as none. Are there any delegates who are in favor of this resolution? Please raise your hand if you're in favor of this resolution. Okay, guys. Um, I would like to call on from UNESCO Romania to please ask a question regarding this draft resolution by Japan and Saudi Arabia.
Uh, you scroll down again. As for as to prevent the malnutrition, how would you be able to feed those who are suffering with malnutrition itself?
Hello, Delegate of Romania. May you please repeat your question?
Uh, to solve this problem, how would you be able to help those who are suffering with malnutrition?
Uh, The delegation here said that they would like to draw attention, especially in the financial resources, because in order to obtain those goods, foods, and foods that the children would need, and also people, they would need funds. Especially there are countries who are not wealthy enough to provide. So they would also want to draw attention to those financial resources. Like in UN, they were asking for other delegations, other countries to provide financial resources so that we could help each other's battle against malnutrition. So by providing resources, they could plant, they could give out to those in needs of food. Thank you.
Delegate of Romania, was your question answered?
Yes.
Okay. Delegate of Russia, you are recognized. Delegate of Russia, you are recognized.
Point of information.
To the chair or to the delegate?
Oh, to the delegate.
Okay, okay. Please state your point of information.
Here on your number, your third uh, resolution, mobilize additional and technical financial resources. Where would these financial resources come from? Would they be from funds raised or from countries who voluntarily uh, gave out funds? Where?
Good day, Delegate of Russia. I'm going to base this with the speech of the Delegate of Japan. The Delegate of Japan's speech includes raising awareness, funds coming from wealthy countries as like donations. Yes, thank you.
Delegate of Russia, was your question answered?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any more questions regarding this draft resolution presented by Japan and Saudi Arabia? Seeing that there are none, we will now proceed with the voting. Once again, to those who said present shall vote yes, no, or abstain. To those who no, yes or no only. So for this draft resolution presented by the Bloc of Japan and Saudi Arabia, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? Delegate of Albania,
Yes.
Delegate of Brazil,
Abstain.
Delegate of China,
Yes.
Delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
Delegate of Iraq,
Yes.
Delegate of Luxembourg,
Yes.
Delegate of New Zealand,
Yes.
Delegate of Norway,
No.
Delegate of the Philippines,
Yes.
Delegate of Romania,
Yes.
Delegate of Russia,
No.
Delegate of Singapore,
Abstain.
Delegate of Ukraine, Delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
Delegate of the United States.
Yes.
Okay, seeing that a majority have agreed, this resolution is approved. Congratulations to the delegations of Japan and Saudi Arabia on your approved resolution. We shall now proceed to the committee resolution from the delegates of China, France, Indonesia, and United Kingdom. May the representative of this bloc please raise their hand in order to be recognized. From the delegates of China, France, Indonesia, and United Kingdom, may I please have your representative to present this draft resolution? China, France, Indonesia, United Kingdom, may I please have your representative? If not, I will be calling on one from your group to present this draft resolution. Indonesia, you are recognized. You will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking.
Good day, delegates. So here is our resolution for malnutrition. So our title for this resolution is Methods to Aid Low-Income Nations with Malnutrition. So deeply concerned with the problem that is malnutrition among middle and low income nations, noting with concern on having to raise awareness so that people improve on their nutrition, recalling in 2019, 21.9% of children that at the age of 5 had stunted due to poor nutrition. Having studied more than a third of the countries are having various of malnutrition. So here our plan is number one, encourages countries in the United Nations to programs in low income countries that uh, raise awareness of proper and adequate nutrition for a human to develop and survive. And, and B, check if children are over and underweight and give the proper directions to solve their problem. C. Educate mothers about the importance of nutrition and proper breastfeeding. Number two, calls upon local governments to observe citizens with their jurisdiction as to give specific nutritional supplements towards people who require them, such as people with case of undernutrition, underweight, stunting, Erasmus, and etc. Strongly affirms wealthy nations to aid low-income nations in giving health insurance to the lower 10% of poor people in exchange of an alliance. Further recommends bigger nations to help distribute Yin Yang Bao, which is a powdery nutritional supplement rich with iron, calcium, zinc, and a variety of vitamins, packets, or anything similar to the middle and income nations, area with a high amount of malnutrition among its people. And number five recommends local government units with nations to open gyms and online gyms with free trainers in a safe space, motivating people who are overweight to better themselves with any shame from other gym members. Lastly, we request countries with a high obesity rate to raise awareness of its dangers and prevention using advertisements and social media. That is all. Thank you, and I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Indonesia. May I just ask the delegates if there are any delegates who are against this resolution? Are there any delegates who are against this resolution presented by the bloc of China, France, Indonesia, and United Kingdom? Seeing that there are none, who are the delegates that are in favor of this resolution, may you please raise your hands. Please raise your hands in the participants panel. Okay. Brazil, Romania, okay. Brazil, may I ask why you are in favor of this resolution?
Because can you scroll down a bit? Hello? for one, it raises awareness for proper and adequate nutrition of human development, and I think that's very important that you teach people how to do it so that eventually the teaching and the entire philosophy will integrate into society hopefully quicker than what one would expect. And it gives us one of the solutions, though it may sound like shameless advertising on China's part, the thing about the limbao something. It's giving us an idea of a type of food that you can give to the poor. It's cheap to make and that will provide them with all the nutrients that they need to keep going, which is uh which is efficient and saves a lot of money in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Brazil. Romania, you raised your hand earlier. May I have your opinion as regard to why you are in favor of this draft resolution?
Um, I'm here to ask about the the gym part. What what will online gyms be like? If I may ask.
Okay, you are recognized, delegate of Romania. Would anyone, delegate of Indonesia, would you care to answer the question of the delegate of Romania?
Um, there will be a trainer that will guide the obese and overweight people properly on how to exercise properly.
Romania, was your question answered?
Yes.
Okay, are there any more questions, point of informations from the delegates? Seeing that there are none, we will now proceed with the roll call voting for the passing of this resolution by the delegates of China, France, Indonesia, and United Kingdom. So, for the draft resolution, by these delegates, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? Delegate of Albania,
Yes.
delegate of Brazil,
Yes.
delegate of China,
Yes.
delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
delegate of Iraq,
Yes, with rights.
okay, delegate of Luxembourg,
Yes.
delegate of New Zealand,
Yes.
delegate of Norway,
Abstain.
delegate of Philippines,
Yes.
delegate of Romania,
Yes.
delegate of Russia,
Abstain.
delegate of Singapore,
Abstain.
delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
delegate of United States.
Abstain.
Um, for the ones who voted for Iraq, please state your speech as you said you voted yes with rights.
Thank you, Chair. As a delegate of Iraq, malnutrition is a major problem for us for years. 1 out of 10 children or people have suffered from malnutrition due to poverty and severe hunger. This draft resolution could help my country and the government to face the malnutrition that malnutrition will be no longer affecting them by giving them food, shelter, and education and other donations, deals from goods and services. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Iraq. Um, Seeing that a majority of the delegates have voted yes, This resolution is passed as a draft resolution. Congratulations to the delegations of China, France, Indonesia, and United Kingdom on your approved resolution. Please give the delegates a round of applause. We shall now proceed with the committee resolution from the delegates of Iraq, South Africa, and Ukraine. We will now move on for the committee resolution from delegates of Iraq, South Africa, and Ukraine entitled Malnutrition Awareness. May the representative of this bloc please raise their hand in order to be recognized. Delegate of Ukraine, you are recognized. You will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking. Thank you.
Realizing that corruption prevents the proper distribution of resources, we must end it or at least limit the amount of corruption in the world. We also recognize that a chunk of people are in poverty because they decided to have children even though they were ill prepared. Realizing that the nations of the world have a huge imbalance of food, we must distribute the excess food to countries in need. Now, the first thing we gotta do is to encourage the other members of the UN to pass laws to stop or at least limit the amount of corruption out there. Our second request is for all the committee members to have laws that will at least recommend couples to take background checks before becoming parents so they can consider what their economical situation is or their parental skills. So they would rethink about being parents. We're also deeply concerned to know about the situations and experiences of the daily life of malnourished or overnourished people. And we also request the members of this committee to find ways for the homeless to give them job opportunities in the agriculture sector uh, for a larger food output. And we're also requesting members of the committee to better use their education fund to make people to help children learn about the values of how to properly uh, the proper way to feed yourself and the proper way to spend their money. Also to prevent children from being corrupt in the near future, because teaching children while they're still young is a very good way of putting it in their heads that these things are bad or good. That is all. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you, Delegate of Ukraine. May I now ask among the delegates who are against this resolution presented by the Delegate of Ukraine? Please raise your hand. Delegate of Luxembourg, you are recognized.
I just like to point out something that may be changed here in this draft resolution in this statement, that recognizing that a chunk of people in poverty are in poverty because they decided to have children even if though they were ill prepared is sort of badly worded, as not all people choose to have children, and it can be in accidents or unforeseen circumstance. Yeah, I just like to point that out. Thank you. I yield my time to the chair.
Thank you to the Delegate of Luxembourg. Are there any more point of informations? Are there anyone against this resolution? Please raise your hand in order to be recognized. Okay. I will call on people to ask questions regarding this resolution. From UNESCO, may I have Norway?
Greetings, hello. Testing, hello.
Hello, yes, you are recognized.
As a question, the delegate of the Kingdom of Norway would like to ask, which part of this resolution directly impacts that topic at hand?
About combating malnutrition, they all affect the topic at hand in little ways. Because corruption prevents the proper spread of resources because they take the money or the food for themselves, and the one where it passes laws, it's to prevent the thing I worded wrong, and the third one, it will inquire upon how the people live so we could assess it and make better we can make a better resolution with the information we gather from the third one. The fourth one, can you scroll down a bit? Thank you. The fourth one is to get the homeless jobs so they'd be employed, and less people would go hungry because they're employed, and more food could be spread around the world for to help combat malnutrition. The fifth one asks for people to asks for the education system to better teach the children on how to properly spend their money on food and not to waste it on vain stuff. And it'll also teach the children how to not become overnourished in the future. That is all.
Thank you, Norway. Did the delegate of Ukraine answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any more points of information that the delegates would like to point out with the draft resolution presented by the delegates of Iraq, South Africa, and Ukraine? Okay. Delegate of Brazil, you are recognized.
Hello. I'd like to inquire about number 2 in your solutions. As you have said that the laws that will be passed will recommend couples to take background checks, so this is not mandatory. So in the case that they do take the recommendation, what do they get from it? And in any case that the background check finds them to be, oh, they're not in the right economical situation to raise children well, um will the government hold that against them? Like, won't will they be able to will they not be able to produce children against their will if the government finds something out from that background check?
Well, we can't force them to not make children because that's an abuse of human rights. But we're just doing this so they could have a second thought on the matter.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Are there any more questions? Any more questions from the delegates? Okay. Seeing there are none, we shall now proceed with the roll call voting. For the draft resolution presented by the delegates of Iraq, South Africa, and Ukraine, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? Delegate of Albania,
Abstain.
Brazil,
Yes.
China,
Yes.
Indonesia,
Yes.
Iraq,
Yes.
Luxembourg, Luxembourg,
Yes.
Delegate of New Zealand,
Yes.
Norway,
No with right.
Philippines,
Yes.
Romania,
Yes.
Russia,
No.
Singapore,
Yes.
Ukraine,
Yes.
United States,
Yes.
Norway, since you voted no with right, please state your speech as to why you voted no.
While it is true this resolution can have an impact on the issue at hand, it does not at all majorly impact the issue directly. There are no direct calls to action regarding malnutrition. If this resolution paper was valid, it would have been it would have been the responsibility of UNESCO and not the World Health Organization. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delegate of Norway. Seeing as the majority have agreed, this resolution is approved. Congratulations to the delegations of Iraq, South Africa, and Ukraine on your approved resolution. Please give them a round of applause. We shall now proceed with the committee resolution from the delegate of Brazil. So the committee resolution passed by Brazil is an individual draft resolution. Brazil, you will be given a maximum time of 10 minutes to present your resolution. The timer will begin as soon as you start speaking. Thank you.
Good day, delegates. We move about giving and taking as we please, resources cycling, distributing, depleting. Everyone having had their fill. The everyone that I am concerning, the greater collective that we choose to recognize. Without good position, privilege, and hardly any voice, the downbeaten and impoverished have struggled to sustain prolonged well-being, and in some cases the extension of their own lifetime. It has been known that poverty and malnourishment prove a strong link in between, not only in the ways that some of the poor do not get to eat, but also in the direction that most of those who do get to partake in regular meals are unable to expend for a healthy lifestyle. This resolution paper hopes to encompass and provide for a variety of faculties affected by malnutrition in middle and low income nations. I am the only sponsor, and the topic is combating malnutrition in low income to mid income economies.
Thank
We are
you.
emphasizing upon the
Continue.
importance of one's physical health, realizing that malnourishment in general and the non-communicable diseases that may result from it reduce worker productivity, efficiency, and some cases, um, lifetime. We are fully aware of a strong and undeniable link between poverty and malnourishment. And we are expressing sympathy for the impoverished and those without necessary means to achieve a healthy, uncompromised lifestyle. We are deeply convinced that global food security is a plausible prospect achievable in the far future. And we are confident in the national government's ability to introduce, handle, endorse, and sell local resources. We call upon national and local government agencies and foundations, educational institutions, and other relevant faculties to promote and demonstrate community activity and the teaching of good dietary practice. This includes the introduction of healthy practice into school curriculums and the prioritization of voluntary agreements concerning change in the nutritional profile of processed foods. We urge the government offices to set participation-oriented policy for the sustainable cultivation of land and the distribution of its resources. In regards to this, one, make available the opportunity for participation to the public, the impoverished prioritized. Two, increase the cultivation of land in favor of the production of fruits and vegetables, making available the option of balancing out carbohydrate and fat consumption. Three, we will provide subsidy for relocation and for education and agriculture, meaning that those who want to participate will be promised a house, regular income, and the education needed to be able to handle the practice. And this will be promised to individuals that are willing to participate. If considered, the government-handed territory could be ceded to the farmers after particular standards are met. Scroll down, please. Thank you. 4. Reward the participants with assured pay. Since the government will be handling the resources, will be marketing the resources and selling the resources, we can assure pay because the participants don't have to worry about finding a market for these because we will be the ones to market them. And 5, distribute domestically domestically sufficient resource extensively, permitting ideally all individuals with equal opportunity to purchase healthily. Surplus will be utilized in benefiting regions with high demand or suffering from scarcity of the resource. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of Brazil. Delegates, do you have, are there anyone who is um, against this resolution presented by the Delegate of Brazil? Please raise your hands if you are against this resolution presented by the Delegate of Brazil. If you are in favor of this resolution, please raise your hand. Are there any delegates who are in favor of this resolution? Please raise your hand in the participants panel. Seeing that no one is raising their hands, I would be calling on people to ask questions. From WHO, may I call on China to ask a question to the delegate of Brazil regarding the draft resolution he presented.
Would the low-income countries be able to afford the subsidies to give people?
The subsidies will start out as fund, and eventually, with how the things are working, with how you produce agriculture, you sell it, that's going to raise the money that the government will use eventually to fund from the transactions and the marketing of all the products that they're producing. So eventually, that could pay for what you spend using the fund, and that can build up the money you can use for future projects, like the promotion of institutions and etc. that I suggested. So the what you get, the money provides both the government and the people working for you to produce it and future projects. Thank you.
Are there, I will be calling on from UNESCO, the delegate of the Philippines.
I don't have a question.
Okay. From UNESCO, Singapore.
Hello, delegate of Brazil. Hmm, I would like to point out a point on how would you plan on combating any possible forms of corruption that may arise from this program.
Hmm. On a national level, that is for us to suggest to deal with. As we are the UN, we don't completely have hold of a government. We can't tell them to do what we want them. We can't demand them to do what we want to do. But we'll be keeping a close eye on on how all of this will work, since it's a UN suggested project. We're going to be running it. What the best we can do as the United Nations is observe and suggest changes, and if we see any discrepancies, pull out funds possibly if it's being embezzled or anything else.
Thank you.
Delegate of Singapore, was your question answered?
Yes, it was. Thank you, delegate of Brazil.
Okay, I will be calling on one last delegate to ask a question to the delegate of Brazil. May I have from UNESCO, Albania?
The delegate of Albania doesn't have a question.
Okay, from the WHO, Indonesia?
Okay. I have a question. How will this be help the pandemic?
Okay. For one, in poverty, especially in third world nations, people live closely packed together. And we're decongesting these streets, or this also helps in the decongestion of these streets or areas where a lot of people live together. If this opportunity arises, a lot of people would want the opportunity to get absolute pay if they just work. They don't have to worry about the market. They just work and they get paid. So a lot of people will leave these decongested areas to go work in the farms and people are more separated there. So it lessens the risk of spreading illnesses. And at the same time, because of COVID, there are lots of areas that in the beginning, when COVID happened, supply trucks wouldn't go there anymore because they have to change routes. There are procedures in roads that are supposed to end up in an area, so resource becomes scarce because not all the suppliers are able to come. And with this, you're producing more fruits, vegetables, more of these resources, and you're advocating on behalf of the distribution, the equal distribution of all of these. So one, like I mentioned earlier, it decongests places with high people living together with close proximity, um concentration of people. And second, it helps produce more food and distribute the food so everyone gets to eat. Thank you.
Okay, are there any more questions or reactions, point of inquiries to the resolution presented by the delegate of Brazil? Okay, seeing that there are none, let us now proceed to the voting for this resolution to be passed. Once again, to those who said present during the roll call, shall vote yes, no, or abstain. To those who said present and voting may only vote yes or no. For the draft resolution presented by Brazil, shall we pass it as a draft resolution? Delegate of Albania,
Yes.
Delegate of Brazil,
Yes.
Delegate of China,
Yes.
Delegate of Indonesia,
Yes.
Delegate of Iraq,
Yes.
Delegate of Luxembourg,
Yes.
Delegate of Norway, New Zealand, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Delegate of Norway,
Yes.
Delegate of the Philippines,
Yes.
Delegate of Romania,
Yes.
Delegate of Russia,
Yes, with right.
Delegate of Singapore,
Yes.
Delegate of Ukraine,
Yes.
Delegate of United States.
Yes.
Russia, you voted yes with rights. Please state your speech.
The Russian Federation, and with the consent, the Kingdom of Norway supports this resolution fully. This resolution is presented well and makes good points in its defense. This resolution also proposes simple, logical, and effective solutions that can be used universally and may if even called a rule of thumb. This resolution's clarity is astounding, and there is no direct backlash to applying any of what was proposed here. The Kingdom of Norway and the Russian Federation supports this resolution fully. Thank you.
You're muted.
Hello. Thank you, delegates, and congratulations on your approved draft resolutions. We are glad to have seen you participate and battle it out to approve your draft resolutions and defend them among your fellow delegates. Once again, I am the Secretary General Jill Gamalinda, and we thank you for making this year's HEDMON 2021 conference a great one, even though it was a difficult task to do it online. So before we go on break, and for the final closing remarks, the observer is requesting for a class picture of this year's HEDMON 2021 conference. So may I ask each delegate, every delegate, including the grade 12 students, to please turn on their cameras and, strike a pose. Okay, yes, who will count 1 to 3? One. Oh, wait, the committee rapporteur is, yes, preparing himself. Okay.
Isa sa ng camera niya.
Okay, okay. Is everyone ready? Ukraine, Albania.
Hold the pose for around 10 seconds.
Okay, one,
Right.
2, 3.
And hold. Holding, 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 holding. Mannequin challenge talaga to eh. Okay, you may breathe.
Okay. Any motion from the delegates to adjourn this meeting? Please raise your hand. Okay. Luxembourg, you are recognized.
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Please raise your hand if you second this motion. Seeing that, yes, okay. Almost everyone has agreed, has seconded the motion. This meeting for Headman 2021 is now officially adjourned. Thank you.
May special request
Bye.
sa YouTube comment, Julian.
Okay.
From Sir H. Sabi niya, may request advance number from the Secretary General again.
Motion denied ka
I'm
mo.
sorry, there is no music.
Josh, play the music.
Play music. Please join, Hero. Not that music.
Wait.
It's the same one.
Sir, walang royalty free eh.
Everyone except Hero and Julian, please off cam.
Pagbigyan lang natin si Search.
What the heck?
Sir,
Kaya
bagsak
niya.
sila pag hindi nila ginawa.
Oh,
Hey, Hero!
Boy, bawal.
Everyone, let's go back. Show your faces again. Let's all wave goodbye to the live stream.
Thank you for watching the live stream, guys.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching this year's Headman 2021. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.